Welcome to Mystery Shorts. In 1865, in England, there lived a charming and beautiful young girl, Catherine. But Catherine's parents forced her to get married to Alexander. Alexander is twice the age of Catherine. Later on the day after the wedding, Catherine gets ready with help of her housemaid Anna, and waits for Alexander in their bedroom. Alexander comes to the bedroom, and he asks Catherine to stop going outside and just stay at home, while Catherine loves having some fresh air and exploring the countryside. Catherine feels extremely sad. Alexander insists her to get naked and goes to sleep without even touching her. One morning, bored Catherine spends her time sitting at the window, and remembering her moments outside, and how this home became a prison to her. Boris, Alexander's father, also stays in the same house. In the later half of the day, Boris' friends visit him to plan for their journey to London. Boris asks Catherine to be awake and wait for her husband. After waiting for a while, Alexander comes home agitated. He insists Catherine remove her night dress and stay near to him. Rather than making love to his wife, he starts fantasizing himself while sitting in his chair. Next day, Anna wakes Catherine up and helps her get ready. After that, Catherine goes to the hall, spends her time alone feeling sad, and sleeps on the sofa. After his breakfast, Alexander receives a call and rushes somewhere on some urgency, an explosion at one of their coal mines. And Boris also gets started with his trip to London. With both Alexander and Boris gone, Catherine feels like a free bird and uses this freedom to enjoy some fresh air and explore the countryside alone. On the next day, Catherine is sleeping on her sofa and wakes up to the sound of a few men hurrying up on her balcony. Catherine feels curious and frightened, but she slowly follows them to find out what's happening. And she finds that they are farm workers from Alexander Farm. Catherine finds these farm workers stripped Anna, wrapped, and hung her in a sack above the ground. Catherine angrily scolds everyone and asks to face the wall and release Anna. Stripped Anna runs out of the room with her clothes. The drunk farm worker who finds Catherine attractive comes over and tries to pick her up, but Catherine knocks him down. She warns everyone out of rage and leaves to her place. When she gets home, Catherine asks Anna about the whereabouts of the drunk farm worker. Anna tells her the new farm worker is Sebastian. Catherine is disturbed and frustrated and finds very agitated to sleep, of being alone and not having anyone to show her care. Catherine wakes up early the next morning and plans to go out. Anna warns Catherine that Alexander has insisted Catherine to be at home, but Catherine goes to farm fields ignoring Anna, where she finds Sebastian walking his dog. After her return back, later in the day, Catherine hears a knock on the door and finds Sebastian. She tries to push the door, but Sebastian manages to come inside. As Sebastian came closer, Catherine resisted to give in, but later they both started making love. Next morning, Anna comes to Catherine's room, and she finds out that Catherine and Sebastian made out last night. Following days, with freedom and no one around, Catherine and Sebastian spent most of their time together making love. Furious, Anna informs the local priest about the affair. The priest tries to warn Catherine, however she sends the priest away saying that everything is fine. When Boris returns from London, he asks Anna for his favorite wine, but learns that the wine is finished by Catherine. Boris in anger punishes Anna by making her act like an animal. As Boris learns about Catherine's affair, he beats up Sebastian and locks him up. As Catherine asks for Sebastian's release, he threatens and scolds Catherine and says he will punish her once Alexander is back. In the next morning, Boris scolds Catherine over breakfast and goes into his room. Catherine locks his room, while Boris starts choking as she poisoned Boris' food. Catherine continues her act of being in shock and asks Anna to call a doctor as she goes to release Sebastian. The doctor arrives and declares Boris dead. Alexander writes a letter to Catherine that he is not coming to the funeral as he hates his dad and Catherine. Catherine continues her act of sadness and gets a picture next to Boris' body. Catherine takes the charge of the house and continues her affair with Sebastian. One day, Catherine expresses her deep feelings and love for Sebastian, but he is worried about Alexander. Catherine reassures him as they sleep in each other's arms. At night, she wakes up to some noise from the window and figures out Alexander came back. Catherine hurries and hides Sebastian in the next room. As Alexander comes to the bedroom, he questions why she is awake, while Catherine replies that she woke up with a noise from the window. Alexander finds a belt and interrogates Catherine about it. She cleverly answers Alexander and makes her some tea. As he has it, Alexander confronts Catherine about the affair and threatens her to leave Sebastian and just stay home. But Catherine gets Sebastian to their room and starts making love in front of Alexander. In anger, Alexander picks up a fight with Catherine, and she kills Alexander. Sebastian feels unsettled about killing Alexander, but Catherine convinces him that it is good for them. At midnight, Sebastian and Catherine bury Alexander's body in the woods and kill the horse to destroy the evidence. Next day, they both start living like they own the house, as they are free and can spend their days without any fear. One day, a woman named Agnes comes to the house with his son Teddy, claiming that Teddy is born to Alexander and her daughter. While Catherine tries to deny it, Agnes shows some papers convincing Catherine. Catherine let Agnes and Teddy stay with her in the house, while Sebastian was too angry, as he had to stay in the farm and leave the house. One day, Catherine wakes up as she feels uneasy and finds she is pregnant with Sebastian's kid. In happiness, Catherine goes to the farm to inform Sebastian with some wine, but he is still angry about Agnes and Teddy, and scolds Catherine to go away. Sebastian kept ignoring Catherine for a while. One night, Catherine learns that Teddy has gone missing, and everyone goes to the woods in search of Teddy. Sebastian finally finds Teddy at the bank of the river. Sebastian feels like killing Teddy, and pushes him to the river, but the humanity inside him stops, and brings Teddy home. But Agnes gets furious, and scolds Sebastian for holding Teddy in his arms. Enraged, Sebastian rushes from there to pack his bag and leave. But Catherine stops Sebastian, and promises that she will do whatever it takes for them to live a happy life together. Next day, Catherine offers Agnes to look after Teddy, and asks Agnes to take some rest. While Agnes and Teddy are sleeping, Sebastian and Catherine suffocate Teddy, and kill him with a pillow. Later in the day, Anna finds Teddy dead, and screams in sadness, waking Agnes from sleep. Catherine shows no regret. She kept lying that she also woke up to find Teddy dead. However, the doctor found it suspicious, as there were marks of struggle on Teddy's body. While Sebastian was crying for the guilt of taking a kid's life, he starts running to the house, and opens the door, and confesses all the crimes he and Catherine committed, killing her husband, and poisoning her father-in-law, and killing Teddy now for them to be together. When questioned, Anna denies, and uses this opportunity to turn things around, and accuses Anna and Sebastian with all the deaths. And she convinces everyone that Boris was killed because he found out about Anna and Sebastian, and Anna remains silent as she cannot speak. Thus, Catherine's story was taken over by both Sebastian and Anna, and they are accused of being guilty. After this incident, all the maids and farm workers left the house, leaving Catherine alone with the unborn Sebastian's child. Comment your views about this shorty. And don't forget to subscribe Mystery Shorts for more